Here's 3 heart-opening yoga poses with modifications, not only to get a great stretch, but also to nourish your spiritual and mental health, to make sure that we're giving ourselves that love, that self-love that we all need a little bit more of. So practice with compassion. Here we go. Figure out what fits your body best. The first heart-opening pose is camel pose. This is one that you want to start from a kneeling position. Start from that elevated kneeling position and lean back to it. So grab heels, balls of the feet, or the mat beneath you. We're thinking of lifting those hips forward, opening up the chest to the sky, and letting the head fall back. This is your camel pose. A modification up would be releasing those hands up and taking them down to the mat. Modification down would be a baby camel. So we're going to start from that seated position, hands where you already want them, and then rise up from here rather than that full kneeling position. You can just lift the hips off the heels and still work on that extension, opening up the heart. There you go. Number 2. Our second heart opening pose is called SPHINX pose. So for this one, you're going to want to be on your belly. With our SPHINX pose, make sure the tops of those feet are relaxed, and then you want to get your elbows in line with your chest. So in line with your rib cage, essentially. You start down, nose to the mat, and then slowly rise, face away, pressing with pressure down into the palms, squeezing at the low back as we open up and lift that chest forward. Modification with SPHINX pose. If you need a little bit more support, you can open those legs wider. You can even slide those elbows out a bit further, and figuring out where that point is for you that you can still open up that chest and lift nice and wide. Modification up for SPHINX pose would actually be moving into a cobra. So instead of elbows being at the rib cage, hands would come to the rib cage, still squeezing at the low back, lifting naturally the best you can, and then using some pressure in the hands to continue pushing and open up that chest as much as possible. This is another beautiful heart-opening pose. Our third heart-opening pose is bridge pose. You want to bring those feet flat on your mat while lying on your back, and then bring those feet in to where your fingertips just barely can touch the heels. With hands down to the mat, we slowly rise one vertebrae at a time, so tucking that pelvis under and then rolling each vertebrae off of the mat until that weight is heavier into your upper shoulders. Glutes are squeezed, hips are rising to the sky. Now modification. Figuring out modification down is really just about your own body. So maybe it's widening the legs, opening a bit wider. Maybe it's taking a little bit longer legs if you have like knee challenges or joint issues and you need some more space there. It can also be just the support of the hands underneath. So if you want to put some fists under the hips as you slowly rise to give yourself some extra support, or even support hands under the low back to give you a little extra. Modification up would be from your bridge pose, taking single leg bridges. You can extend one leg at a time. You can march it and just kind of make it a little bit more active, or you can even interlace those fingers underneath, squeezing under, and you can actually rock those shoulders underneath to get even more of a heart opener, giving yourself more of an arch and opening up the heart space. That's it. Actually, that's not it. I got one more thing to say. So practicing heart-opening poses isn't going to answer your self-love journey. You need to actually ask yourself, are you allowing love in, and where are you allowing it to come from? Because at the end of the day, it's all about what you allow in your life. You set boundaries. Do you cross them? Do you let them be blurred? Or do you keep them and build that trust to yourself? Each day that you show up for yourself, you're giving that trust to yourself. You're building up that trust in your personal relationship, and that's a demonstration of love. Every time you practice grace or compassion for yourself when you make a mistake, that is a practice, a demonstration of self-love. Every time you choose yourself, your wellness, your health, instead of, choosing something that's going to stress you out or bring you down or whatever it might be, that's an act of self-love. Build up that trust with yourself. The most important relationship in this world is the one you have with you. I know I'm calling y'all out a little bit, but yoga has a lot of levels. And at the end of the day, yoga means union or to yoke. And we are thinking about how we unite mind, body, and spirit. And it starts with that decision you make for yourself. Have a great day, y'all. Open up that heart.